Every year, millions of people unknowingly place their long-term health at risk by making a seemingly innocent choice at the grocery store. It all comes down to a small can, one that costs very little but carries the potential to be either a powerful medicine or a silent danger. This can contain sardines, a food so polarizing that it has sparked heated debates among leading nutrition scientists worldwide. On one side, experts hail sardines as the ultimate superfood, an affordable source of nutrients that can rival supplements. On the other side, critics caution against potential risks, often tied to contaminants, preservatives, or excessive sodium that the food industry rarely discloses. The truth is far more complex than most people realize, and the difference between benefit and harm lies in knowledge. Knowledge that 99% of consumers simply do not have. Welcome to our health transformation community, where we uncover the hidden truths about everyday foods and empower you with evidence-based science. If you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the facts that can change your health forever. And before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Our global community thrives on sharing experiences and insights across continents. Now let's turn to the latest scientific breakthroughs that are rewriting everything we thought we knew about sardines. In 2021, researchers published in Frontiers in Nutrition uncovered what they described as a nutrient matrix effect, a natural combination of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, selenium, and high-quality protein that works synergistically in ways no single supplement can replicate. This isn't marketing hype. It's peer-reviewed science that has profound implications for how we view food as medicine. A 2018 Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health study found that individuals who consumed just 1 to 2 servings of fatty fish, such as sardines per week, reduced their risk of heart disease by over 35%. Even more striking, clinical trials in 2020 revealed that sardines may lower blood triglycerides, improve cholesterol ratios, and enhance vascular flexibility. All factors that significantly cut the risk of heart attack and stroke. Sardines, it turns out, aren't just good for you. They may be one of the most effective dietary strategies for protecting your heart. But let's break down the nutrient profile that makes sardines extraordinary. According to the USDA Food Data Central, 2022, a standard 3.5-ounce, 100-gram, serving of sardines canned in tomato sauce provides 0.74 g of DHA and 0.45 g of EPA, essential omega-3 fatty acids known for anti-inflammatory and heart protective effects. Over 370% of the daily value, DV, for vitamin B12, critical for nerve health and red blood cell production. Nearly 96% DV for selenium, a trace mineral essential for antioxidant defense and thyroid function. About 24% DV for vitamin D, which plays a central role in bone strength, immune health, and cardiovascular regulation. Taken together, this nutrient synergy is what scientists call cardioprotective. In fact, recent clinical reviews published in Nutrients, 2022, emphasize that sardines may reduce the need for omega-3 supplements altogether, as their whole food matrix produces stronger biological effects than isolated capsules. Yet the story doesn't end here. While sardines are a nutritional powerhouse, their health potential is undermined if consumers choose poorly. Certain brands are packed with excess sodium, artificial flavors, or come from unsustainable sources that raise concerns about contaminants like heavy metals. This is where most people unknowingly make a dangerous mistake, choosing convenience over quality. Understanding how to select sardines safely and wisely is what transforms this humble canned fish from a possible health risk into one of nature's most affordable healing foods. 2 recent randomized controlled trials, RCTs, have shed light on how consistent sardine consumption affects people living with type 2 diabetes, T2D. In the first study, participants who ate 200 grams of sardines per week for a full year experienced a 1.3% increase in their omega-3 index, O3I, a biomarker strongly linked to reduced cardiovascular risk. In the second trial, those who consumed 100 grams of sardines 5 days per week for 6 months saw an even more impressive 2.7% increase in their O3I. What's remarkable is that in both trials, participants shifted from an intermediate cardiovascular risk category to a lower risk category for mortality associated with coronary heart disease. In other words, simply incorporating sardines into the diet was enough to alter a person's heart health profile in measurable ways. So what explains this? Sardines are one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These essential fats are known to lower triglyceride levels, high triglycerides, hypertriglyceridemia, increase the risk of atherosclerosis, a condition where fatty deposits clog arteries, raising the chance of heart attack and stroke, support anti-inflammatory processes. Omega-3s help calm low-grade inflammation, which plays a central role in cardiovascular disease progression. But the benefits of sardines don't stop at the heart. Sardines for bone health, a natural calcium boost. Unlike most fish, canned sardines are eaten with their bones and skin, which transforms them into a powerhouse for calcium. A single serving provides roughly 350 milligrams of calcium, about 1/3 of an adult's daily requirement. To put that into perspective, that's nearly the same calcium you'd get from a glass of milk, but in a far more bioavailable form. Calcium is not just about bones. It's also a signaling ion essential for heart contractions, nerve transmission, and muscle function. Around 99% of the body's calcium is stored in bone tissue as calcium phosphate crystals, which harden and strengthen the skeleton. Vitamin D, which sardines also provide in abundance, ensures that calcium is absorbed and utilized properly. This nutrient synergy makes sardines a natural alternative to expensive bone supplements. Sardines for brain health, omega-3s beyond the heart. Emerging research is uncovering another role for sardines: brain and mental health. Omega-3s, especially DHA, are vital for the formation of gray matter and the structural integrity of brain cells. During pregnancy, inadequate omega-3 intake has been linked to delayed fetal brain development, whereas sufficient intake supports optimal growth of the nervous system. In adults, studies suggest omega-3-rich diets may increase gray matter density in brain regions tied to memory and learning. While more research is needed, the early findings are promising. Omega-3s also influence inflammatory and hormonal pathways connected to mental health, with some studies suggesting they could reduce the risk of anxiety and depression. The dark side, hidden dangers in sardines. But here's the part most health experts won't openly discuss. Not all sardines are safe. A study analyzing sardines caught off the Algerian coast found alarming levels of mercury, cadmium, and lead, with average concentrations exceeding both Algerian and European safety thresholds. For example, lead levels reached 2.13 milligrams per kilogram wet weight, far above safe limits. Other research paints a similarly troubling picture. A consumer lab analysis found that while canned sardines were relatively low in mercury, they were unexpectedly high in arsenic, ranging between 2.13 to 2.17 parts per million, levels high enough to warrant consumption limits. The location factor, why origin matters. Contamination levels vary dramatically depending on where sardines are caught. For example, sardines from certain regions of the Moroccan Mediterranean Sea contained only trace heavy metals, well within safe limits. By contrast, those from polluted areas near the Nile Delta in Egypt showed significantly higher contamination due to industrial and agricultural runoff. This means that 2 cans of sardines sitting on the same supermarket shelf could differ dramatically in their safety profile, depending on their geographic origin. The sodium and purine trap. Even when free of heavy metals, sardines carry another hidden risk: excess sodium and purines. Canned sardines often contain very high sodium, which can increase urinary calcium excretion. This paradoxically reduces the very bone-protecting calcium you're trying to gain and increases the risk of kidney stones. Sardines also contain purines, which break down into uric acid. For people prone to gout or kidney stones, this can create additional complications. Sardines are one of the most nutrient-dense, affordable, and evidence-backed superfoods for heart, bone, and brain health. But their benefits are not guaranteed. The source, quality, and preparation of sardines make all the difference between a food that heals and one that harms. One of the most alarming revelations from recent food safety investigations involves the quality standards of canned sardines. While sardines are often praised as a powerhouse of nutrition and sustainability, the truth is that not all products on the market meet the same level of safety. A comprehensive Brazilian study examined multiple brands of canned sardines and revealed a troubling reality. Although the levels of most trace elements appeared adequate, the presence of arsenic stood out as a consistent and unacceptable contaminant. Researchers found that arsenic contributed the highest hazard quotient, HQ, values, and together with cadmium and lead, created a toxic profile that raised serious concerns. Their conclusion was clear. Chronic consumption of these contaminated sardines could pose a health risk, and stronger surveillance systems are urgently needed to protect the population. What makes this even more disturbing is that when it comes to heavy metals such as arsenic, cadmium, and lead, the issue isn't simply whether they fall within acceptable ranges. From a toxicological perspective, these elements have no safe threshold for human intake. Even small, repeated exposures can accumulate in the body over time, increasing risks for cancers, kidney dysfunction, and cardiovascular disease. Yet, this does not mean sardines should be abandoned altogether. In fact, when chosen wisely, sardines remain one of the healthiest and most sustainable seafood options available. The key lies in making informed choices and understanding what separates the beneficial from the harmful. Sardines, as small, short-lived fish positioned low on the food chain, naturally accumulate fewer heavy metals compared to larger predators such as tuna or swordfish. Their biology gives them an advantage: less mercury, fewer toxins, and more concentrated nutrients. How to choose sardines that heal instead of harm. Look for brands that emphasize transparency, those that disclose fishing locations, sustainability certifications, and processing methods. Wild-caught sardines from clean waters, especially from the North Atlantic or Pacific, tend to be safer than unregulated sources. Opting for products stored in water or olive oil rather than cheap refined oils can also improve nutritional quality. Unlike tuna, which sits at a mid-trophic level in the food web and therefore carries higher mercury loads, sardines remain relatively safe when responsibly sourced. The frequency formula for maximum benefit. Scientific organizations have long supported sardine consumption in moderation. The American Heart Association, AHA, recommends 2 3-ounce servings of fatty fish per week, about 3/4 cup of flaked fish per serving. Sardines, along with salmon, herring, anchovies, and mackerel, are excellent candidates due to their rich omega-3 content. Interestingly, studies show that beyond 2 servings per week, there may not be additional heart benefits, so balance is key. This moderate intake allows you to maximize the anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular benefits of omega-3s while limiting exposure to environmental contaminants. For vulnerable groups such as pregnant women, nursing mothers, and young children, it's best to consult US FDA and EPA guidelines to minimize mercury exposure. The preparation factor that multiplies benefits. How sardines are consumed can further influence their health impact. Across Europe, especially in Portugal and Spain, sardines are celebrated in both fresh and canned forms. Unlike in the United States, where canned sardines often carry a stigma, Mediterranean traditions embrace them as delicacies packed with flavor and nutrition. Compared to canned tuna, sardines offer more combined omega-3s, DHA and EPA, higher calcium when consumed with bones, and lower mercury levels. Choosing sardines canned in extra virgin olive oil adds another layer of heart-healthy benefits. The long-term health impact based on real science. When sourced responsibly and eaten in moderation, sardines can deliver powerful, long-lasting health advantages. Their omega-3 fatty acids support cardiovascular health by reducing inflammation, lowering triglycerides, and improving blood vessel function. They also provide complete protein for muscle repair, vitamin D for bone strength, and selenium for antioxidant defense. Research consistently highlights that regular sardine consumption can help individuals meet oily fish intake guidelines, which are linked to lower risks of heart disease and improved brain health. In short, the story of sardines is a reminder of the balance between risk and reward. Poorly regulated products can introduce harmful contaminants, but carefully chosen sardines remain one of the most nutrient-dense and beneficial foods in the human diet. The choice comes down to vigilance, knowing where your food comes from, how often you consume it, and how you prepare it. The latest scientific research highlights that sardines are more than just a convenient pantry staple. They are one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can add to your diet. Sardines are exceptionally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are proven to play a critical role in reducing inflammation, supporting heart health, and protecting brain function. A 2021 study published in Nutrients confirmed that the high concentration of EPA and DHA, the two most active forms of omega-3s, in sardines has measurable anti-inflammatory effects, which may lower the risk of chronic conditions like cardiovascular disease and arthritis. Beyond omega-3s, sardines provide high-quality protein that supports muscle strength and repair, making them especially valuable for older adults. They are also packed with essential micronutrients such as vitamin D, calcium, selenium, and B12, all of which contribute to bone strength, immune support, and energy metabolism. Because of their small size and low position in the food chain, sardines tend to accumulate fewer toxins like mercury compared to larger fish, making them one of the safer seafood choices when sourced responsibly. With this knowledge, you can confidently make sardines a consistent part of your health routine. Start by researching brands that prioritize transparency, those that indicate fishing regions, use sustainable methods, and minimize additives. Whenever possible, choose sardines packed in water or olive oil instead of refined seed oils. Follow the American Heart Association's 2021 guideline, which recommends at least 2 3.5-ounce servings of fatty fish per week. This amount provides enough omega-3s for cardiovascular protection without significantly increasing exposure to potential contaminants. Pay close attention to how your body responds. Better digestion, more stable energy, and even improvements in skin health are common outcomes people notice after regular sardine consumption. Remember, building long-term health isn't about trends or marketing. It's about consistent, informed decisions rooted in peer-reviewed science. When chosen wisely and consumed at the right frequency, sardines are not just affordable and convenient. They are truly one of nature's healing foods, capable of transforming your well-being from the inside out. If this video gave you valuable insight into the science behind sardines, kindly type "yes" in the comments. That motivates us to bring you more evidence-based content. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more research-backed health strategies that empower you to make smarter choices every day. Stay informed, stay healthy, and remember, knowledge is your greatest protection. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.